China, once one of the fastest-growing economies in the world, quickly rose to become the world's second-largest economy. As one of the key engines driving this growth, real estate undoubtedly had a profound impact on the country's economic landscape. Some people made unimaginable fortunes from this property boom. In 2016, Wang Jianlin, the founder of real estate giant Wanda Group, became China's richest man. Just a year later, Xu Jiayin, the founder of Evergrande, the country's largest property developer, claimed the title. But while a few got rich, tens of millions of ordinary Chinese citizens took on enormous debt to buy homes. In a booming economy, this seemed manageable. But when the market slowed, the cracks began to show. In 2021, Evergrande, once a symbol of China's real estate might, collapsed under the weight of its debts, plunging into a financial crisis with liabilities worth hundreds of billions. At the same time, housing prices plummeted, leaving countless families who had poured their life savings into property grappling with devastating losses. Recently, a real estate company in Haikou slashed property prices due to the sluggish housing market, causing significant losses for buyers who had purchased homes not long ago. In response, large groups of homeowners gathered at the sales office to protest and demand compensation. How miserable is it? Even when housing prices fell, the municipal office stepped in to stop developers from lowering prices. In Haikou, this particular project dropped from 12,000 yuan per square meter to just 7,999. Let's first take a look at how the developer helplessly tried to calm the angry homeowners. And later we'll talk about how so-called affordable housing turned into a financial trap. Originally, this was supposed to be affordable housing on Haikou's west coast, with pricing set at 60% of surrounding commercial housing prices. But when the calculations were done, this project still ended up at 12,000 yuan per square meter, mainly benefiting those with insider connections. Unsurprisingly, once the price was announced, sales stalled for half a year. Only a handful of unlucky buyers took the bait and got burned. In the fantasy of a stable home, affordable housing should be a warm refuge for middle and low-income families. But in reality, these homes have fallen into an awkward state of being completely unwanted. The sales numbers are shocking. Meanwhile, nearby projects like Balong and Xinfufei launched fully owned commercial apartments for just over 9,000 yuan per square meter, already far cheaper than these so-called affordable homes. Eventually, this project had no choice but to slash its price to 7,999, yet it still faced protests from furious homeowners. Even with the police on site, they couldn't stop the market from collapsing. Today, Haikou's property market has become a brutal whoever buys first loses first situation. Projects that once opened at over 20,000 yuan per square meter now sell for 17,000. Developments like Haifu Court once sold out at 25,000 yuan, but within 6 months began clearing inventory at 15,000. Dahua projects opened boldly at 25,000 yuan, but now go for 13,000. Older 5th and 6th generation buildings like those on Fengxiang Road or Dongfangyang, once priced at 25,000, guess what they're worth now? Internal pricing is even more shocking. Honestly, I think these developers have done what they could. It's not wrong for them to cut prices. And homeowners, do you realize that banks might soon stop offering loans for properties over 15 years old? If these homes aren't sold now, they'll be stuck in the developer's hands. If you think this affects your home value, feel free to keep protesting. But when the second batch of West Coast commercial homes comes out at just over 7,000 yuan per square meter, I'm telling you, there might not even be anyone left to compensate you. There's plenty of inventory. It is widely known that China's real estate market once experienced a golden era of growth lasting over 2 decades. From 2000 to 2020, the average price of commercial housing soared from 2,112 yuan per square meter to over 10,000 yuan per square meter, with prices in some first-tier cities even surpassing 100,000 yuan per square meter. The core drivers behind this surge were the demographic dividend, rapid urbanization, and a loose monetary and financial environment. However, during its expansion phase, China's real estate sector accumulated massive debt and inventory. Data shows that by 2025, housing prices in several cities have seen significant declines, with average prices in first-tier cities falling by more than 30%, and prices in some lower-tier cities even halving. Meanwhile, vacancy rates remain high, and housing supply continues to outpace demand. In 2024, among 70 large and medium-sized cities nationwide, 53 recorded year-on-year declines in new commercial housing prices, accounting for 75.7% of the total. A content creator interviewed a lady who bought an apartment just 2 years ago and now has to sell it, losing her entire down payment.
Behind me is this residential area. It's in Suzhou Industrial Park, called Haiyui Garden District 1. Today, a homeowner here is selling their 77 square meter 2-bedroom apartment. They bought it for 3 million yuan, but now it's only worth 1.95 million. After selling, it's just enough to pay off the mortgage. Not a single cent left. We're about to go meet them now. The apartment's probably still around 1.95 million, right?
Bought it 2 years ago. Has it dropped this much already?
Honestly, if it can be sold for that price now, it's already considered okay.
My husband and I saved up for so many years. Our entire down payment is gone.
Do you still have a mortgage?
Yeah, we've been paying it.
So can the sale barely cover it?
Barely enough. We borrowed over 2 million yuan. There's still about 1.92 million left now.
So basically selling it just about clears the loan. When did you buy it?
In 2023.
Only 2 years ago?
Yeah,
And how much did you buy it for?
a little over 3 million.
So you took a 70% mortgage at the time?
Right, we maxed it out. Now the financial pressure is really high. I have no choice but to sell it. Every month's expenses are huge, plus the kid has to go to school. There are too many things we can't afford to handle, and income compared to 2 years ago is nowhere near what it used to be. Suzhou's housing prices have really fallen a lot these past couple of years.
It's like overnight poverty. The people who worked hard these years are actually the ones suffering the most, while those who did nothing back then are living quite comfortably now. Everything's reversed. These days, very few people are truly living well. In fact, a lot of people are in the same situation as us. Recently, we've filmed quite a few stories like this. A lot of homes, it's tough to sell them. Do you have any plans after selling?
First, just get life back in order. Sell the house, pay off the debt, and at least ease up the pressure a bit. After all, we have a kid to think about too. To sell this apartment, we already cleared everything out earlier this year. Our whole family's been staying in a rented place outside. You can tell just by looking. Selling it clean and tidy should help a little bit at least.
All right, try to calm down and everything will be getting better, okay?
This woman in the video isn't the only case of being forced to sell her property at a loss due to China's economic downturn. Another blogger in Xi'an also revealed that, overwhelmed by financial pressure, he too had no choice but to sell his home at a 500,000 yuan loss. He pointed out that there have been many similar cases like his in recent years.
In the end, I still had to sell my own house. I bought it for 3 million yuan and finally sold it for 2.6 million. In 3 years, I lost over 400,000 yuan. Luckily, I got to live in it for more than 2 years. Maybe it was worth it, if you think about it. I've been selling homes in Xi'an for 10 years, and this is the first time I've truly felt how tough it is for landlords. It's honestly miserable. Will home prices in Xi'an keep falling? When will they finally hit bottom? To be honest, I don't know either. Xi'an isn't even one of the most famous cities for price drops nationwide, but it still made a lot of landlords who bought in recent years take a big loss. A huge one. From 2020 to 2022, if you bought a house and didn't lose money, leave a comment below, because as far as I know, most people lost quite a bit in these years. Some lost over 100,000 yuan, others even had their property value cut in half. Everyone keeps thinking, surely this is the bottom. After all, Xi'an is a big city. It's supposed to develop like one of the top-tier cities. But then again, which city in the country hasn't seen home prices fall? Xi'an has dropped, yes, but in terms of transactions, it still ranks top 3 nationwide each month. Regardless of that, the fact is there are a ton of homes for sale in Xi'an right now. Demand is high, but so is supply. I'm not being pessimistic. This is just reality. I myself am a landlord with multiple properties in Kujiang, and I completely understand how landlords are feeling now. Many are losing money. Some even owe more than they own. There are cases where people sell a house and still have to pay extra to the bank. I used to feel the same, refusing to give in. I wanted to hold on. I thought maybe if I endured this period, things would turn around. Maybe after the cycle passes, things will get better. In the end, I chose to cut my losses and sell quickly because the monthly mortgage pressure was just too much. Besides fixed expenses and all kinds of unpredictable costs, this home loan has to be repaid every single month. But for landlords who are unwilling to lower prices, what can you do? The number of second-hand homes listed for sale in Xi'an has hit nearly 220,000 units. And though monthly sales look okay, the number of listings keeps going up. It's not that Xi'an lacks home buyers. There are still plenty of people looking to buy, but buyers now have so many choices. The buying cycle is long, and most buyers are still waiting it out. They want to shop around more, and now there are more and more new projects. Fourth-generation apartments, no more shared areas, huge bonuses. Everything's being upgraded. A few years ago, people would complain new builds had bad locations. But in the past 2 years, as policies pushed forward, developers have been forced to use prime land. They're offering killer deals. So a lot of the land being sold now is actually in excellent locations. Right now, the biggest rival of secondhand homes is new builds. And even new homes with minor location flaws are still getting accepted by buyers, because people no longer care as much about area or location. And besides, over time, prime areas shift. So if you've decided to sell now but still hope for a high price, it's not happening. If you plan to sell, do it as soon as possible. At least it can still be sold right now. A lot of houses, if you wait too long, might truly turn into unsellable property.
This year's drop in housing prices is completely different from last year's and the year before. It's a whole different story. The situation is much more severe this year. Although the decline doesn't seem steep, every drop cuts deep to the bone. Why do I say that? In previous years, a price drop just meant a loss. Some people lost more, some lost less, but at least they could cut their losses in time. If things got really bad, they could just sell the house and still walk away with dignity. But this year, many people are seeing prices drop below their mortgage balance. That means if I sell the house, I might just barely be able to pay off the loan and end up with nothing. In fact, in some cases, even after selling, they still can't pay off the loan, or can't sell it at all. That means they can't cut their losses in time. Many people just don't want to accept this. People keep saying housing prices will keep falling, that they'll return to serving just for consumption, for living. They say the ones happiest about falling prices should be the common people. So now that prices have fallen so much, I want to ask you all, are you any happier? In recent years, as China's real estate market has faced prolonged decline, the government has continuously introduced housing policies to stabilize home prices. On May 28th, the Ministry of Housing and Urban-Rural Development, together with the People's Bank of China and the China Banking and Insurance Regulatory Commission, issued the measures on optimizing the stable development of the real estate market, aiming to stop falling housing prices and restore stability. The new policy lowers the interest rate floor for first-time home loans from the previous LPR minus 20 basis points to LPR minus 50 basis points. For ordinary homebuyers, this means that for every 1 million yuan borrowed, monthly payments could drop by about 180 yuan. In addition, major reforms have been introduced to the Housing Provident Fund system. The loan cap has been raised, with first-tier cities now allowing up to 1.8 million yuan in loans, an increase of 300,000 yuan from before. The rules for fund withdrawal have also been relaxed, allowing for withdrawals to support renting and cross-city use. The new measures also eliminate the government-set price guidance limits on second-hand homes in many areas and reduce transaction taxes and fees. For ordinary homes held for more than 2 years, both value-added tax and personal income tax are now fully exempt. For school district housing and homes owned for over 5 years, deed tax is cut by half. But whether these policies will be effective remains to be seen and will require continued observation.